Your books are good, but they're not popular. Editors, they want a black book.
They have a black book. I'm black, and it's my book.
You know what I mean.
Look at what they publish. Look at what they expect us to write. I just want to rub their noses in it.
You know, the bones, the meat of Monk is already there. So I would love to know, for you, was everything that you performed on screen already there, or what essence of Jeffrey did you actually bring into Monk?
Well, you know, I read the script. I started reading the book. The book is set in D.C., where I was born. But Cord has really reshaped the book in his own image. There are a lot of the catalyzing moments in the book are completely reshaped. So I focused on the script, and then the other book that I read was the book of my life, really. Particularly as related to the position that Monk finds himself when all heads in his family simultaneously turn to him to be the adult. I knew that pretty well. And also, I think for Cord, you know, there was a lot of personal overlap as well. You know, he lost his mother a few years ago, and, you know, he at times had to be caretaker. My mom passed not too long before I got this script. I was raised by my mother and my aunt, so, you know, it was a lot.
I don't think I've seen you in a character such as this before.
Righteous.
And he seemed so broken and hurting, but also the most wise.
Yeah! I think that happens with the youngest a lot.
The babies?
They're able to witness everything that's happening around them and see them with like a level of clarity that sometimes folks can be too close to. But he is hurting, you know? He's at a major transition in his life. And it was a very different character for me, but also very much me too. I think you bring yourself to everything that you do, but then you have to say, like, myself in these particular circumstances would behave differently. Folks close to me know that I'm a little crazy. So when they see it, they'll be like, Negro, I know that. That's you being you that to a certain extent. But it's also just, he's a lot of fun to play.
Talk about Jeffrey. Just give us Jeffrey.
He's wonderful.
He's so wonderful. You know, I've obviously, like all of us, admired his work, and there's a way that he layers in honesty that you don't in any way feel like you're acting. You're just experiencing, and you're sort of responding and in the environment with him, and it was a treat.
As a person and as an actor, he's incredibly thoughtful. Like you see thought on camera. I was like, that's pretty
My favorite part was that I got him to laugh and break. I was like, what are you laughing at? He's like, it's funny. I'm like, we're shooting. I think he giggled a lot with me.
Yeah.
We sold your book.
No.
We believe Mr. Lee has written a bestseller.
It's a joke. The most lucrative joke you've ever told.
Now, is Stagg a pseudonym?
Yeah. Mr. Lee can't use his real name.
Is this based on your actual life?
Well, you started out as a journalist. You pivoted to screenwriting.
Yeah.
And now you're directing.
Yeah.
Was directing always in your line of sight as a career?
No, it wasn't. It was something that I thought that I couldn't do because I didn't go to film school. You know, it didn't feel like it was in my repertoire. It wasn't until I was a writer on a TV show called Master of None, and one day my boss, Aziz Ansari, asked me if I'd ever thought about directing, and I told him, no, I've never been to film school. And he said, you don't have to have gone to film school. I didn't go to film school, and I direct stuff all the time now. He said, all you really need is a vision and an ability to articulate that vision to sort of people who understand the technical aspects that you don't know. And so he planted the seed, and then about 4 years later I found the novel and decided that I wanted to try to direct it. I felt like I really understood the story deep in my bones in a way that I didn't necessarily understand other stories. So it felt like the perfect opportunity to direct something for the first time.
Monk writes this book, you know, the satire, and then he is ultimately surprised when it resonates with an audience. You know, he has such disdain. Has there ever been a character for you, and maybe you didn't have this disdain, but like, you played this character and then was really surprised at how the audience was touched by it?
Well, I have to say, in the opposite way. I mean, he's doing something that's subversive. That has not happened to me because I haven't had to play a character that was so different from perhaps what I innately bring to the character, which is usually strength, power, very verbal, articulate, all that. But the many characters that I've played have done that. And I think, you have to say that it's partly the character, but it's also they're vibing with you. You're bringing yourself. So you need the writer to not only invite you to play a character that might have some, maybe close association with yourself in some way, but also you've got to also see the vision and, and not be afraid to become part of it. And I think the audience, when they see something that's authentic, they go toward it.
There's already so much buzz because of the movie deal.
Michael B. Jordan is circling.
We want to put him on the cover in one of those scarves, I guess you would call them, tied around his head.
A do-rag?
Do-rag, that's it. Do-rag and a tank top with the muscles showing.
Something called the fire department.